Okay, so can you tell that my skin's looking clear? Because it feels it. I felt very, a mixture of emotions, because today I danced as sexy as I could in the moment for another man watching me while I was touching myself everywhere, passionately visualizing myself not as Fabian but as somebody else, which is for me to keep hold of. And I had another man dance for me, and I'd never felt more of a sense of alignment and belonging within myself. Now, you may translate what I'm saying as an expression of my sexuality. Perhaps. What I'm simply saying is, it's a really amazing thing when you can appreciate, acknowledge, see someone as a container of energy, intertwined molecules which are vibrating, full of energy, masculine traits, feminine traits, which happen to be in the form of a human body, but it's just energy. And I think a magnet that's a very expensive magnet, but still a magnet, would still be attracted to a cheap magnet, which is still a working magnet. Right? It's simple. It's science, it's maths, it's just how it works. And it made sense for me in the moments I experienced and was part of today to feel a sense of seduction and attraction and be a bit inhibited, not love drunk, but a bit inhibited and captivated by watching somebody else express themselves how they saw fit. And being a part of that and expressing my tears and my pain and being in positions non-sexually, which as a man you don't often find yourself in, regarding energetically, psychologically, even the way you lay on the floor or cuddle up to a blanket, I felt such a safe sense of belonging and alignment to myself. Not to say that there wasn't discomfort, not to say that I fully committed myself to it, but to certainly emphasize the fact that today I had confirmed something I had a sneaking suspicion of and very rarely occasionally expressed for the best part of 18, 19 years, which is I need to embrace what my femininity means to me. I need to embrace and acknowledge and honor and speak about what my sexuality is to me. I need to be spiritually, energetically, physically, sexually, psychologically, in any means and facets one could think of. I need to be nothing except what feels right at that moment. And what feels right at that moment generally means that there is an abundance of focus. Not so much consciously, but just like you're in your own zone, doing your own thing. When a hurdler who is the world's best hurdler successfully jumps over the hurdles and sets world records, there'd be a fair chance they're focusing on just getting into that mode and doing what they have to do. They probably wouldn't be worried so much about the rising costs of their energy bill. And for me today, my own experience being present in moments, there were moments when I certainly was in my head, but the moments of presence, I was dancing seductively, moving, touching myself with my clothes on, touching myself, breathing, feeling, imagining myself as who I needed to be rather than who I thought I should be. And that's so important because for myself, I've defined myself by who I think I need to be. And I've been intelligent, gathered feedback and data from a range of sources, from a range of what's engaged the most online, what people have complimented or critiqued or criticized me on, modeling myself after other people who I used to idolize and look up to, and a range of other factors. I'm sure you can think of a few yourself. And it's led to so much disconnect. Perhaps in a moment or two, a bit of disconnection is fantastic because it leads to a bit of appreciation of when you are feeling on. But let me ask you this. What happens when you run all these different software programs from all these other people, all these other sources on your own hard drive, your own computer, your own brain, your own body, your own life experiences? What happens when you do that so much that you forget who you are? You literally don't know who you are. And that's something I've been fighting within myself for so long. Who am I? Who am I to ask for more money? Who am I to tell someone they owe me $5,000 and ruin their day and create more stress in their life? Who am I to tell that person to politely get fucked because I'm not going to put up with them being a victim and bringing me into their shit anymore? Who am I to not call myself on the same thing? Who am I to believe that other people are more important than me? Nobody is, and no one's more important than you to yourself. Who am I to not only ignore my emotions and kick them away, but treat them so unfairly based on what makes them who or what they are? Like, I don't feel any judgment towards Lance Armstrong, Michael Jackson, two perhaps very polarizing people. But for me, when I was 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, nothing would taint the feelings I had back then of putting their CDs, the first CDs I ever got, Michael Jackson's CD and Lance Armstrong's book, listening and reading them, nothing will ever compare to that, because at the moment, my truth was me being inspired by that story. I don't really care what's come out since, because I'm aware of how poorly I've treated myself. I'm understanding that I've been the most ridiculous hypocrite of everything that I thought I stood for and against in life. Wow, that's a lovely body. I've gotten angry at systems and patriarchies. I've avoided politics. I've talked so much shit about entities over time to make myself, position myself in that moment as more of an expert or make myself look better. I've tortured myself. I've led people down a pathway of illusion. I've critiqued others without actually taking the steps required for me to step into my own excellence. That is complete and pure hypocrisy. I've dished out judgment and shit on friends and clients and family members and a range of other people who says they value something but their actions say otherwise. I'm like, oh, well, that's not adding up. You're a fucking hypocrite. You're full of shit. But I forgot to call myself out, and I forgot to do that in a way which leads to me actually being like, oh, okay, I understand. I have this pattern or that belief or that thing running. Well, that's really interesting, and I find it curious that I could have so much resources around me which could contribute to exceptional materialistic and non-materialistic living standards, yet I've chose to fixate on these really, really small things, and I've actually allowed that to run and taint everything else in my life. That's really fascinating. That's something I've only just started doing recently. I feel like my whole life until now is like the scratched out part on a fucking CD or a VHS or a cassette player where you're like, oh crap, it starts 40 minutes in. I feel like I'm just appreciating now what it means to actually live and be alive, because I'm finally starting to open up to the idea and give myself permission that I am worthy of being listened to, being heard, speaking up, demanding that those around me not obey what I think is right, but demanding that others energetically acknowledge or not my greatness. But that's only going to happen if I put that energy out there. So I've got to, and I have, and I did, and I will to, with every moment of this physical existence, make that commitment and feel that sense of obligation to doing what is right for me. And that's something that I speak for me, but also for you in this moment. There's a commitment that must be made and signed, not with a pen or your blood, but with you internally. You've just got to feel that and hold on to that and honor that and be like, yeah, you know what? I'm putting myself first, unapologetically, authentically, deeply, sincerely, transiently. Life is nothing but a series of present moments. So just take it one moment at a time, one heartbeat at a time, one step, one breath. And it ain't that hard. It ain't that hard to do when you can simply surrender that need and that desire to control everything. And once you surrender that, you get to embrace freedom. You get to feel free. You lose that sense of guilt and shame and pain. And you say, you know what? It's been great, but time to leave you behind to all those feelings of inadequacy in your head, and that which is amounted and manifested in your body. And you get to say hello to the new world. I'm the ruler here. I'm the boss of myself. I take control of myself. I dance when I want, how I want, as loud or softly as I want. I speak how I want. I do what I want. Of course, within certain limitations. But I'm my own authority. And nothing can touch you then.